Good morning, everyone. Today, I want to talk to you about something simple yet incredibly powerful, a 6-month success plan that can completely change your life. 6 months may seem like a short time, but when you use it wisely, it can become a transformative journey. Imagine your life as a garden. Every thought, every action, every choice is like a seed. Some seeds bloom immediately while others take time. 6 months is enough time to plant seeds of growth. Water them consistently and see the first blooms of your efforts. But remember, the growth won't happen by accident. It requires intention, focus, and patience. The first thing you need to do is clarity. Clarity is like a compass. Without it, no matter how hard you work, you may end up wandering aimlessly. Take a moment, sit quietly, and ask yourself, where do I want to be 6 months from now? What kind of person do I want to become? Write it down. Seeing it on paper transforms vague dreams into tangible goals. Next, break down your big goal into small, actionable steps. Many people fail because they look at the mountain instead of the path. If you focus on one step at a time, celebrating each small victory, momentum builds. Success isn't sudden, it is the result of daily consistency. Now, here's something many overlook: discipline over motivation. Motivation is temporary, it comes and goes like waves. Discipline, however, is the steady ship that keeps you moving even when the seas are rough. Commit to habits that align with your goal even when you don't feel like it. 6 months of disciplined effort can make you 10 times better than most people who are waiting for their right time. Another crucial point is learning from failure. In 6 months, you will stumble, you will make mistakes, and that is not just okay, it is essential. Each failure is feedback guiding you toward improvement. Don't run away from discomfort. Lean into it, analyze it, and let it teach you. Next, surround yourself with the right environment. You are a reflection of the people you spend most of your time with. If you want growth, seek mentors, friends, and communities that inspire and challenge you. Remove distractions and influences that pull you toward mediocrity. One of the most underrated aspects of a success plan is health and energy. Your mind can have incredible plans, but without energy, nothing happens. Exercise, proper sleep, and nutrition are not optional. They are tools for peak performance. 6 months of physical and mental care sets a foundation for a lifetime. Focus on one thing at a time. Focus on one thing at a time. The world is full of distractions, and multitasking is a myth. 6 months of focused work on the right goal will yield better results than years of scattered efforts. Learn to say a no to things that do not serve your purpose. Equally important is gratitude and reflection and reflection. Every week, take time to reflect. What went well? What can be improved? What am I grateful for? Reflection turns experiences into wisdom, and gratitude keeps your heart light even during challenging times. Also, give before you take. Success is not just personal achievement. It is about the impact you create. Help someone, share your knowledge, contribute your time. The energy you give comes back multiplied, often in ways you cannot predict. Finally, trust the process. 6 months is enough to create change, but only if you remain patient and persistent. Growth rarely happens in a straight line. Celebrate small wins, adjust when necessary, and never lose faith in yourself. Remember, 6 months from now, you will either be closer to your dreams or in the same place. The choice is yours. Plant the seeds today. Water them daily, and watch your life transform. That clarity is the first step toward any meaningful success. Imagine standing in the middle of a dense forest with no map, no compass, and no idea which direction to take. You could walk for hours, even days, but without knowing your destination, every step might be wasted. Life without clarity is much like that forest. You may be moving, but you could be moving in circles. Clarity gives you purpose. It transforms vague dreams into concrete goals and gives you a sense of direction. It is the difference between wishing for success and working toward it with intention. Most people fail, not because they lack talent or resources, but because they lack clarity. They have a hazy idea of what they want. I want to be successful. I want to be happy. I want to earn more. These are noble desires, but they are too broad. They do not tell you what steps to take or how to measure progress. Clarity, on the other hand, turns abstract ideas into tangible outcomes. For example, instead of saying, I want to be healthy, clarity would transform that into, I want to lose 10 kilograms in 6 months by exercising 4 times a week and eating balanced meals. Suddenly, the goal is measurable, actionable, and achievable. You know exactly what success looks like. Clarity also requires self-reflection. It is not enough to chase goals because society tells you they are desirable or because your friends or family expect them. True clarity comes from asking yourself deep, honest questions. Who do I want to become? What kind of life makes me feel fulfilled? What legacy do I want to leave behind? These questions might seem uncomfortable because they force you to confront your fears and uncertainties. But the answers are invaluable. They act as a compass, guiding your decisions and actions over the next 6 months. One of the most powerful tools to achieve clarity is writing your goals down. There's something magical about seeing your thoughts on paper. It forces your mind to organize itself. And a goal written down becomes a promise to yourself, a commitment that is tangible and visible. Many successful people swear by this simple habit. They spend time every morning reviewing their goals, visualizing the outcome, and reminding themselves of the purpose behind each action. This daily reinforcement keeps clarity alive even when distractions and challenges arise. Clarity also helps in prioritization. Life is full of choices, and without a clear sense of purpose, you are easily pulled in different directions. When you know what you truly want, every decision becomes easier. You can ask yourself, does this action bring me closer to my 6-month goal, or does it distract me? Clarity gives you the courage to say a no to what does not serve your purpose, allowing you to conserve energy and focus on what truly matters. Finally, clarity inspires confidence. When you know where you are headed, uncertainty loses its power. You move with intention, making decisions with a sense of purpose. Challenges no longer feel overwhelming because you can see how each obstacle fits into the larger journey. Clarity turns chaos into order, fear into focus, and indecision into action. 6 months of living with this level of intentionality can transform not only your results, but the very way you approach life. You no longer drift aimlessly. You navigate with vision, making every step count toward the life you are determined to create. Setting a goal is only the beginning of the journey. The real transformation happens when you break that goal into actionable steps. Imagine trying to climb a mountain without a plan. You look at the peak, feel inspired for a moment, but the path seems impossible. The mountain is intimidating, and soon your motivation wanes. Life is full of mountains like this, big dreams that seem too far, too overwhelming, or too complicated. The secret is not to focus on the peak alone, but to focus on the steps that take you there one at a time. When you break your goal into smaller, manageable tasks, something remarkable happens. Fear and hesitation start to dissolve. A goal that once seemed too daunting becomes achievable because each step feels within your control. For instance, if your goal is to improve your public speaking skills over the next 6 months, don't just say, I want to be confident on stage. Instead, outline clear steps. Read one book on public speaking this month. Record yourself giving a 2-minute talk every week. Attend a local speaking group. And gradually increase the length and complexity of your presentations. Suddenly, the mountain of becoming a confident speaker transforms into a series of steps you can climb gradually. And the journey feels empowering rather than paralyzing. Breaking goals into steps also creates momentum. Every time you complete a small task, your confidence grows. You can feel progress happening, and progress fuels action. Momentum is one of the most underrated forces in life. Small wins accumulate into significant results, and before you realize it, 6 months have passed, and you have achieved more than you initially thought possible. It is the compounding effect of consistent effort. The key is to focus on the process rather than obsessing over the final result. The result is inevitable if the process is followed diligently. Another reason to create actionable steps is that it brings structure to your time and energy. Life is busy, full of distractions and responsibilities, and without a roadmap, your efforts are often scattered. When you know exactly what needs to be done each day, you spend your energy efficiently. There is less procrastination because each action is clear, measurable, and doable. The clarity of your steps keeps you disciplined and reduces the mental load of wondering, what should I do next? Each small step becomes a building block, steadily constructing the life you want. Breaking goals into steps also teaches patience and resilience. Not every step will go perfectly, and some days you might fall behind. But when your goal is broken into smaller tasks, setbacks are easier to handle. Missing one step does not derail the entire plan. It is simply an opportunity to recalibrate and continue. This approach builds mental toughness because you learn to focus on consistency rather than perfection, understanding that small, deliberate actions create long-term results. Finally, actionable steps encourage creativity and problem solving. As you work through each step, you gain insights, learn what works, and discover better methods along the way. Goals are no longer abstract concepts. They become living, evolving processes. You become more adaptable, more strategic, and more capable of navigating challenges. The journey itself becomes a teacher, showing you that success is less about giant leaps and more about steady, purposeful progress. By breaking your goals into actionable steps, you transform ambition into practical achievement. You turn dreams into a roadmap and anxiety into confidence. In 6 months, these small, consistent actions accumulate into profound results. And you realize that the secret to success was never in the grand gesture, but in the simple, deliberate steps you took each day. Motivation is a wonderful feeling. It lifts us up, fills us with energy, and makes the impossible seem possible. We often chase it, waiting for that surge of excitement to propel us toward our goals. But the truth is, motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes like waves, strong one moment and gone the next. If you rely solely on motivation to achieve your 6-month goals, you will find yourself inconsistent, frustrated, and eventually discouraged. What separates those who succeed from those who struggle is not how motivated they feel in a particular moment, but whether they have cultivated discipline. Discipline is the silent engine behind every meaningful achievement. Unlike motivation, discipline does not depend on feelings. It is a conscious choice to take action, day after day, regardless of how you feel. It is what allows you to wake up early for exercise, study for an hour when you are tired, or practice your craft even when no one is watching. Discipline is the commitment to your goal that does not waver when circumstances are challenging, when energy is low, or when distractions tempt you to stray from the path. Imagine 2 people training for a marathon. One is highly motivated at the start. They feel excited, energized, and full of purpose. They run every day for the first 2 weeks. But then life gets busy, the weather turns cold, they feel tired, and their motivation fades. They skip a day, then 2. And before they know it, months have passed and they are no closer to their goal. The other person might not feel as excited every day, but they have discipline. They run consistently, rain or shine, good day or bad day, 6 months later, the disciplined runner crosses the finish line. Not because they were always motivated, but because they were consistent. This is the power of discipline. Discipline is not about being harsh on yourself or removing joy from life. On the contrary, it is about creating freedom. When you are disciplined, your actions are aligned with your goals, and your results start to compound. You do not waste mental energy deciding what to do each day. You already have a structure and routine in place. This consistency builds confidence, resilience, and momentum. Each day you honor your commitments, you prove to yourself that you are capable, strengthening both skill and character. One of the most important aspects of discipline is its role in shaping habits. Habits are the building blocks of success. When you practice discipline for 6 months, the actions that once required effort become automatic. Waking up early, dedicating time to learning, prioritizing meaningful work. These are no longer chores, but natural parts of your daily routine. Motivation may start the journey, but discipline ensures you finish it. Discipline also teaches patience. In a world obsessed with instant gratification, it is easy to become frustrated when results do not appear immediately. But disciplined effort reminds us that meaningful change takes time. The 6-month journey is not just about achieving a goal. It is about developing the mindset and resilience that will carry you through future challenges. Discipline turns small, consistent actions into monumental results, quietly transforming not just what you do, but who you become. Ultimately, discipline is about mastering yourself. It is about choosing long-term growth over short-term comfort, about staying committed to the vision even when feelings waver. If you can cultivate discipline over these 6 months, you will achieve more than you ever imagined, not because luck or motivation favored you, but because you made a decision to show up. consistently with unwavering focus and determination. Failure is often seen as the enemy of success, something to avoid at all costs. But the truth is, failure is one of the greatest teachers we can have. It is the mirror that reflects our mistakes, the compass that points us toward improvement, and the force that strengthens our character. If you want to achieve meaningful success over the next 6 months, you must embrace failure, not fear it. Many people are terrified of failure because they equate it with weakness, shame, or incompetence. They hesitate to take risks, step out of their comfort zone, or try something new, worried that making a mistake will define them. But failure is not the opposite of success. It is a part of it. Every successful person you admire has failed numerous times. The difference is that they did not allow failure to stop them. Instead, they used it as feedback, adjusting their approach and persevering. In the journey of 6 months toward your goals, failures are inevitable, but they are not fatal. They are stepping stones, each one offering a lesson that no book or mentor could teach us vividly. Learning from failure begins with a shift in perspective. When something goes wrong, instead of blaming yourself or giving up, ask, what can I learn from this? How can I improve? This simple question transforms frustration into growth. For example, if you attempt a project or task and it fails, take a step back and analyze objectively. Did you underestimate the time required? Did you lack certain skills? Did circumstances beyond your control affect the outcome? Each answer provides insight that strengthens your future efforts. Failure, when examined carefully, becomes a roadmap, showing you exactly where to pivot, refine, or push harder. Another aspect of learning from failure is developing resilience. Life rarely goes according to plan, and obstacles are guaranteed. If you allow a single failure to define you, you give away your power. But if you embrace failure as a teacher, you develop a mindset that is unshakable. Every setback becomes a test of patience, perseverance, and creativity. Over 6 months, this mindset will serve as a foundation for all future endeavors. You will find that challenges no longer intimidate you. They become opportunities to grow stronger, wiser, and more capable. Failure also encourages humility and self-awareness. It forces you to confront your limitations, recognize areas for improvement, and acknowledge that success is rarely achieved alone. You begin to appreciate the journey rather than just the outcome. Each failure humbles you, keeping your ego in check and teaching you the value of persistence, effort, and learning. This humility, combined with resilience, creates a character that can endure setbacks and continue moving forward with determination. Perhaps the most profound lesson failure teaches is courage. The willingness to fail is the willingness to try. You cannot innovate, create, or achieve extraordinary results without taking risks, and risks always carry the possibility of failure. 6 months of embracing challenges, stumbling, and learning from mistakes will transform you into a person unafraid of discomfort or uncertainty. You will start to see failure not as a threat, but as a natural and necessary part of the growth process. Ultimately, failure is not something to avoid, but something to harness. It is the forge in which your character is strengthened, your wisdom expanded, and your determination sharpened. If you can approach the next 6 months with the mindset that every setback carries a lesson, you will move faster, learn more deeply, and emerge far stronger than if you had only pursued a path of comfort and certainty. In this way, failure becomes not a roadblock, but a launchpad, a catalyst for transformation that accelerates your journey toward the life you desire. Your environment shapes you more than you realize. It is often said that we are the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with, and there is profound truth in that. The people, places, and even the energy around you influence your thoughts, habits, and ultimately your results. If you want to achieve extraordinary success in the next 6 months, creating the right environment is not optional. It is essential. Without it, even the most determined efforts can be diluted, derailed, or drained before they bear fruit. An empowering environment begins with the people around you. Friends, colleagues, and mentors can either elevate you or hold you back. Positive influences inspire you, challenge you to grow, and hold you accountable to your goals. Conversely, negative influences can so doubt, distract you, and drain your energy. Think of it like soil for a plant. Rich, nourishing soil allows growth, while rocky, infertile soil stunts it. The same principle applies to your life. 6 months of being surrounded by individuals who uplift, encourage and challenge you can accelerate your progress more than months of solitary effort. Equally important is the physical environment. Our surroundings have a subtle but powerful effect on our focus and productivity. A cluttered room, a noisy workspace, or constant distractions can silently erode your energy and dilute your efforts. On the other hand, a well-organized, intentional space supports concentration, creativity, and clarity. Taking even small steps, cleaning your desk, organizing your tasks, creating a dedicated workspace, sends a message to your subconscious that your goals are serious, your time is valuable, and your focus is non-negotiable. Environment also includes digital and mental influences. Social media, news, and constant notifications can fill your mind with noise, stress, and comparison, which can hinder your progress. To cultivate the right environment, it is necessary to create boundaries around these influences. Choose sources that educate, inspire, and motivate you. Limit exposure to negativity, gossip, and distractions. 6 months of carefully curating what enters your mind can dramatically shift your mindset and energy, allowing you to focus on actions that truly matter. Another aspect of the right environment is accountability. Surrounding yourself with people who care about your growth, mentors, peers, or even online communities helps you stay on track. When others know your goals, they can provide guidance, encouragement, and gentle correction when you stray. Accountability transforms good intentions into consistent action, and it provides perspective during moments of doubt or discouragement. No one achieves lasting success in isolation. We all need external support to keep us honest, motivated, and aligned. The right environment also encourages inspiration and learning. Being in spaces where curiosity, creativity, and growth are valued stimulates your mind and expands your vision. Attend seminars, join study groups, or spend time with people whose values and habits you admire. Exposure to these influences can plant new ideas, reveal unseen opportunities, and inspire you to elevate your own standards. 6 months in the right environment can catalyze learning that might otherwise take years of trial and error. Finally, cultivating the right environment requires conscious effort and intentional choices. You may need to distance yourself from toxic influences, reorganize your routines, or create boundaries that protect your time and energy. It is not always easy, but it is profoundly rewarding. When your environment aligns with your goals, your progress accelerates naturally, your energy remains high, and your focus stays sharp. In essence, success is rarely just about effort or talent. It is also about where you place yourself. The people you interact with, the spaces you occupy, and the influences you allow into your mind all become mirrors of your aspirations. 6 months in the right environment is 6 months of fertile ground for growth, learning, and transformation. It is the invisible force that magnifies your efforts, turning ambition into action and intention into achievement. Health and energy are often overlooked in the pursuit of success, yet they are the foundation upon which everything else is built. You may have brilliant ideas, ambitious goals, and unwavering determination, but without a strong body and a clear mind, your potential is limited. Think of yourself as a high-performance vehicle. No matter how advanced the engine, without fuel and maintenance, it cannot run at its best. 6 months of consciously prioritizing health and energy can dramatically amplify your efforts, making every step toward your goals more effective and sustainable. Many people underestimate the power of daily energy management. They push themselves to work longer hours, sacrifice sleep, and rely on stimulants to stay alert, believing that exhaustion is a badge of honor. But the reality is that depleted energy reduces focus, creativity, and decision-making ability. In the long run, it slows progress and increases the risk of mistakes. By consciously caring for your health, you create a foundation that allows sustained effort, consistent performance, and resilience through challenges. Sleep, nutrition, and exercise are not optional. They are essential tools for building your 6-month success plan. Sleep is the first pillar of energy. During sleep, your mind consolidates learning, your body repairs itself, and your energy stores are replenished. Skipping sleep or compromising quality affects not just your health, but your ability to focus, retain knowledge, and respond effectively to challenges. Imagine trying to climb a steep hill when your legs are fatigued and your vision blurred. That is what life feels like when you neglect rest. 6 months of prioritizing 7-8 hours of quality sleep can sharpen your thinking, improve your mood, and make you more resilient, giving you the stamina to pursue your goals without burning out. Nutrition is equally important. Food is fuel, and the quality of fuel determines your performance. Eating processed sugary or irregular meals leads to energy crashes, poor concentration, and diminished motivation. On the other hand, a balanced diet rich in whole foods, protein, healthy fats, and complex carbohydrates stabilizes energy, enhances mental clarity, and strengthens immunity. When you eat mindfully, you are investing in the body that carries you through the next 6 months, ensuring that it operates at peak capacity. Exercise is the third critical pillar. Physical activity is not just about appearance. It is about energy, vitality, and mental sharpness. Regular exercise boosts circulation, reduces stress, and enhances focus. Even a 30-minute daily walk, a short workout, or stretching routine can dramatically improve your energy levels and cognitive function. Over 6 months, consistent exercise will make you stronger, more alert, and more capable of handling both physical and mental challenges. It creates a positive feedback loop. The more energized you are, the more productive you become, and the more motivated you feel to continue taking care of yourself. Equally important is mental health. Energy is not only physical, it is emotional and psychological as well. Stress, negative thoughts, and mental clutter drain energy faster than physical exertion. Practices such as meditation, journaling, or mindful breathing allow you to recharge your mind, reduce anxiety, and maintain clarity. A calm, focused mind is far more productive than one constantly consumed by worry, doubt, or distraction. Ultimately, health and energy are the invisible engines of your success. Without them, even the most ambitious plans falter. By committing to sleep, nutrition, exercise, and mental well-being over the next 6 months, you are not only preserving your capacity to work toward your goals, but also creating a sustainable foundation for long-term success. The effort you invest in your health compounds daily, fueling your body, sharpening your mind, and energizing your spirit. 6 months of disciplined care will show you that the strongest, most effective version of yourself is not just about what you do. It is about how well your body and mind support every action you take. Focus is one of the most powerful yet underrated tools for success. In a world full of distractions, noise, and endless options, the ability to concentrate on what truly matters can make the difference between stagnation and extraordinary progress. Many people believe that being busy is the same as being productive, but busyness is often just scattered energy. Focus, on the other hand, channels your energy in one direction, amplifying its impact. If you want to transform your life in 6 months, mastering focus is non-negotiable. Focus begins with clarity of purpose. When you know exactly what you are working toward, it becomes easier to prioritize and filter out distractions. Without focus, even the most motivated person can waste countless hours on activities that seem important, but contribute little to the ultimate goal. For example, imagine trying to write a book while constantly checking social media, answering unnecessary emails, or switching between projects. You may feel busy, but real progress is minimal. Focus is the lens that allows you to see what matters most and direct your energy toward it, making every action deliberate and meaningful. One of the biggest enemies of focus is multitasking. Many people pride themselves on juggling several tasks at once, but research shows that multitasking actually reduces efficiency, lowers quality, and increases stress. True productivity comes from dedicating uninterrupted attention to one task at a time. By immersing yourself fully in a single activity, you allow your mind to work deeply, creatively, and efficiently. 6 months of focused effort on one goal at a time will yield far greater results than years of scattered attempts. Creating an environment conducive to focus is equally important. Just as a cluttered desk or noisy surroundings can drain energy, an organized and intentional workspace supports concentration. Minimizing distractions, turning off unnecessary notifications, and setting clear boundaries around your time are essential practices. Focus thrives when you protect it like a precious resource, understanding that every interruption diminishes your momentum and slows your journey towards success. Another critical aspect of focus is the ability to say no. Opportunities, requests, and temptations constantly compete for your attention. Without the courage to decline what does not serve your goals, you dilute your effort and scatter your energy. Saying a no is not selfish, it is strategic. It preserves your mental and emotional energy for what truly matters and ensures that your actions are aligned with your vision. 6 months of consistently protecting your focus will teach you the immense power of intentional choice. Focus also requires mental discipline. Your mind naturally drifts, especially when the work is challenging or uncomfortable. Training yourself to bring attention back to the task at hand is a practice, not an innate talent. Techniques like time blocking, setting clear priorities, and taking short breaks for rejuvenation can enhance your ability to concentrate. Over time, this mental discipline becomes a habit, allowing you to work deeply and consistently without succumbing to distraction. Perhaps the most powerful effect of focus is that it compounds effort. When your energy, time, and skills are directed consistently toward one meaningful goal, progress accelerates. Small steps taken with full attention accumulate into significant results. In 6 months, you will not only see measurable achievements, but also experience the satisfaction of deep, purposeful work. A sense of mastery that comes from knowing you gave your best effort without scattering yourself. In essence, focus is the multiplier effort. It transforms ordinary actions into extraordinary outcomes. It is the bridge between intention and accomplishment, the force that channels your potential into tangible results. Without focus, talent and effort can falter. With it, even modest abilities can achieve remarkable things. Mastering focus is the gateway to turning your 6-month plan into a life-changing reality. Reflection and gratitude are two of the most powerful practices for personal growth. Yet, they are often overlooked in the rush to achieve goals. We live in a world that celebrates speed, productivity, and visible results. But the inner work of looking back, assessing and appreciating is what turns actions into wisdom and experiences into lasting transformation. If you want to create meaningful success over the next 6 months, committing to regular reflection and gratitude can profoundly change not only what you achieve, but how you experience life along the way. Reflection is the practice of pausing to examine your actions, decisions, and outcomes. It allows you to step outside the momentum of daily life and ask important questions. What went well this week? What could I improve? What did I learn from challenges I face? These questions are not meant to induce guilt or self-criticism. They are meant to illuminate the path ahead. When you take time to reflect consistently, you begin to notice patterns, habits that help you, habits that hinder you, and choices that bring results versus those that waste energy. 6 months of disciplined reflection creates a feedback loop that accelerates growth. Each insight gained is like a compass, guiding you toward better decisions, more efficient action, and a clearer understanding of what truly matters. Reflection also fosters self-awareness, one of the most valuable qualities for success. Many people rush through life reacting to circumstances without understanding their own motivations, strengths, or weaknesses. By intentionally examining your experiences, you develop clarity about your values and priorities. You begin to recognize why you make certain choices, which behaviors propel you forward, and which ones hold you back. This awareness is a form of power. It allows you to make conscious decisions rather than drifting through life on autopilot. Over 6 months, this self-awareness accumulates, shaping you into someone not just busy, but purposeful and intentional. Gratitude complements reflection by keeping your heart and mind grounded. It is the practice of consciously acknowledging the blessings, opportunities, and support you receive, no matter how small. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is lacking to what is abundant, creating a mindset of positivity and abundance. When you cultivate gratitude, challenges no longer feel like insurmountable obstacles. They become opportunities to learn, grow, and appreciate the journey. In 6 months, a daily habit of noting what you are grateful for, whether it is relationships, experiences, lessons, or personal progress, transforms your perspective, increases resilience, and fuels motivation. The combination of reflection and gratitude also strengthens emotional intelligence. It allows you to process experiences without being overwhelmed by frustration, fear, or regret. You learn to celebrate successes, however small, and view setbacks as temporary and instructive. This mindset keeps you motivated and centered, preventing the emotional ups and downs that often derail progress. In essence, reflection gives you insight, and gratitude gives you the emotional fuel to continue applying that insight in practical ways. Another benefit of these practices is the cultivation of patience. Growth and success are rarely instantaneous. Without reflection and gratitude, it is easy to become impatient, frustrated, or disheartened when results take time. By reflecting on progress and appreciating the journey, you anchor yourself in the process rather than being obsessed with outcomes. This patience, cultivated over 6 months, allows you to stay consistent, resilient, and steady, even when immediate results are not visible. Ultimately, reflection and gratitude are not just habits, they are lenses through which you view life. They turn experiences into lessons, challenges into opportunities, and ordinary days into meaningful steps on your journey towards success. 6 months of daily reflection and gratitude does more than improve performance. It transforms your mindset, your emotional strength, and your capacity for joy, making every action more intentional and every result more fulfilling. One of the most powerful principles for creating lasting success is the idea of giving before taking. In a world that often emphasizes self-interest and immediate gains, the mindset of generosity might seem counterintuitive. Yet those who achieve the greatest impact in life consistently operate from a place of contribution, understanding that the energy we put out into the world inevitably shapes what comes back to us. Giving before taking is not just about material generosity. It is about offering time, knowledge, kindness, and value without expecting immediate reward. Practicing this principle over the next 6 months can transform your relationships, your reputation, and the trajectory of your goals. Giving before taking begins with a shift in perspective. Most people enter interactions thinking, "What's in it for me?" While this approach may bring short-term results, it limits long-term growth. When you focus first on adding value to others' lives, you cultivate trust, respect, and goodwill. Consider the relationships you build when you genuinely seek to help, mentor, or uplift someone without expecting anything in return. These relationships are deep, resilient, and mutually rewarding. Over time, they become a network of support and opportunities that can accelerate your progress in ways that self-interest alone cannot. Contribution also amplifies your own growth and learning. When you give your knowledge, skills, or time to help someone else, you reinforce your own understanding and develop new insights. Teaching a concept, mentoring a colleague, or supporting a peer forces you to clarify your thoughts, refine your approach, and think creatively. The act of giving becomes a mirror, reflecting areas where you can grow and strengthening your capabilities. Over 6 months, this consistent focus on contribution builds expertise, confidence, and influence, while simultaneously enriching the lives of others. Giving before taking also nurtures emotional intelligence and empathy. By paying attention to others' needs, challenges, and perspectives, you develop the ability to connect deeply, communicate effectively, and respond with compassion. These qualities are invaluable in both personal and professional life. They allow you to navigate conflicts gracefully, inspire others, and create collaborative solutions. 6 months of consciously practicing generosity strengthens not only your relationships but also your character, shaping you into a leader who people naturally want to follow. Another dimension of giving before taking is that it fosters a sense of abundance. When you give freely, you reinforce the belief that resources, whether time, knowledge, or energy, are not finite. This mindset reduces fear, comparison, and scarcity thinking, replacing them with confidence, optimism, and creative energy. Generosity breeds generosity. When you invest in others without expectation, opportunities, support, and goodwill flow back to you, often in unexpected and multiplied ways. Importantly, giving before taking builds trust and credibility. In professional and personal contexts, people are drawn to those who demonstrate integrity, selflessness, and authenticity. When others see that your actions are guided by a desire to contribute rather than to take advantage, they are more likely to collaborate, share resources, and support your vision. Over 6 months, this approach can open doors that no amount of networking, persuasion, or transactional effort could achieve. Finally, giving before taking creates a deeper sense of fulfillment. Success is not measured solely by what you acquire, but by the positive impact you leave behind. By contributing meaningfully to others, You experience purpose, connection, and joy that far surpass material rewards. 6 months of intentional generosity cultivates a life that is not just successful in achievement, but rich in meaning, relationships, and legacy. In essence, giving before taking is a principle of alignment, aligning your actions with generosity, integrity, and purpose. It transforms ambition from self-centered striving into meaningful contribution. 6 months of practicing this principle can create ripple effects that extend far beyond your immediate goals, building trust, influence, and fulfillment that last a lifetime. It teaches us that the path to true success is paved not just with what we achieve for ourselves, but with what we give to others along the way. Trusting the process is one of the most overlooked yet vital components of success. In a world obsessed with instant results and shortcuts, it is tempting to focus only on the outcome. The promotion, the wealth, recognition, or the milestone we hope to achieve. But meaningful success is rarely instantaneous. It is the cumulative result of consistent effort, patience, and faith in the journey. Trusting the process means believing that every step you take, even the small or uncomfortable ones, contributes to a larger picture that is unfolding in your favor. Over the next 6 months, cultivating this mindset can transform how you approach challenges, setbacks, and opportunities. When we focus too much on results, it is easy to feel discouraged. Progress can be slow, outcomes uncertain, and the path winding. This is where trusting the process becomes critical. It allows you to shift your attention from immediate gratification to the long-term journey. Consider a farmer planting seeds. They water them daily, nurture the soil, and protect the crops from pests, yet they cannot make the plant grow overnight. If the farmer loses faith and digs up the seeds too soon, there will be no harvest. Success works in a similar way. Consistent effort, patience, and trust in the system eventually yield results, even if the progress is not immediately visible. Trusting the process also helps build resilience. Life will inevitably throw obstacles, failures, and unexpected changes your way. If your focus is solely on outcomes, a single setback can shatter motivation and create self-doubt. But when you trust the process, you understand that every challenge is part of the journey, a lesson, a test, or a redirection. This mindset allows you to continue taking action, learning, and growing, even when the immediate outcome seems uncertain. Over 6 months, this resilience becomes a habit, and habits compound into significant long-term transformation. Another important aspect of trusting the process is embracing incremental growth. Success is rarely about giant leaps, it is about small, deliberate steps taken consistently. Each action, no matter how small, adds up over time. Completing a task, learning a new skill, or making a small improvement may feel insignificant in the moment, but these micro efforts compound like interest in a bank account. 6 months of trusting this compounding effect can produce results far beyond what you initially imagined, simply because you stayed committed to the journey rather than obsessing over the end point. Trusting the process also fosters patience and peace of mind. When we obsess over results, we create anxiety, stress, and a constant sense of urgency. But by focusing on the process, the work, the discipline, the daily actions, we shift our energy from worrying about outcomes to taking deliberate steps that move us forward. This mindset reduces frustration, increases clarity, and allows us to enjoy the journey rather than being enslaved by the destination. 6 months of practicing this perspective will not only accelerate progress, but also enhance your overall Finally, trusting the process builds confidence in yourself. Each step you take, even when it seems small or inconsequential, proves your ability to show up consistently, follow through, and learn from experience. Over time, you develop an inner conviction that hard work, persistence, and patience inevitably yield results. You learn to let go of doubt, comparison, and impatience, knowing that every effort contributes to your growth, even if the fruits are not immediately visible. In essence, trusting the process is about faith. Faith in your effort, faith in growth, and faith in life's natural rhythm. 6 months of embracing this principle will transform how you work, how you respond to challenges, and how you experience progress. It teaches you that success is not just the final achievement, but the cumulative effect of consistent, intentional, and patient effort. When you trust the process, you step confidently into each day, knowing that your commitment today shapes the results of tomorrow, and that the journey itself is as valuable as the destination.